My name's Kadeja Wexler, the owner of Auggie Bear Publishing, and I would like to give a huge welcome to the first place winner for the Clara J. Johns Literary Award for Best Picture, Caleb's Adventures with Granddad, Christian King. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi, Christian.
I'm excited to be here.
Yes, we're so excited to have you. What does it mean to win this award?
Any recognition for my work means the world to me. And I've this one in particular because it was the winner of the picture book category. And I was like, wow, I just can't tell you how honored I was. And I posted on my own social media and everyone's like, oh my gosh, I know someone famous. And I'm just little old Chris.
Yeah.
But it means the world to me, and because it's read by other folks, and it's looked at it. All the books are looked for the best quality that present, the quality of the writing, the illustrations, and that's what I'm all about. So for recognition, to have a quality book that I'm very proud of, then to be recognized, I'm just ecstatic.
Yes.
So Thank you again.
Yes. And thank you for submitting. I mean, all the judges had nothing but high praises for you. And like you said, the quality, they had one of the judges, I looked at it before we began, just to highlight what they said, in that, with quality, it was a quality book, the story was great, and the illustrations were great, which, like you said, you took time into creating this beautiful piece of literature. So thank you.
Well, the illustrations, Nana is the lady who did them, phenomenal. She's actually doing the illustrations for my new book that'll hopefully be out at the end of this year. And she's phenomenal, fun to work with, just easy to work with, understands my vision. And I have a vision for my books and my stories so that it conveys who I am as well.
Yeah.
And so this book, and the other part of it is my little collaborator, Caleb, my grandson, not little, he's an adult now, but we talked about this a long time ago, what a book could be about with the two of us, and this is what came out of it.
That's so great. Yeah, I mean, I'll go to my next question, which was the inspiration, since you talked about Caleb, the inspiration behind the book. So without giving the book away, can you just give the listeners just a synopsis of what the book is about?
First and foremost, it's the relationship between a granddad and his grandson, which is exactly what I have with Caleb. I have 8 wonderful grandkids. Caleb and I have a very special relationship, and we talked about an idea for a book when I took him on a trip for his graduation from high school. And so over time, since then, having the story mapped out, I would share with him what I was writing and the different adventures and how that was going to look, and he just thought it was fantastic. But then again, he's biased because of me.
He was right.
And then there were things like, oh, I don't know if Caleb would do that. I don't know. And so we back and forth, and then over time, it just finished itself.
Yeah.
And we wanted a story that reached the heart. We wanted to show that grandparents and relationships with grandchildren are extremely important. My grandkids mean the world to me, and I've been blessed. And so to be able to do this, and although this isn't my first book is a children's novel, fantasy fiction, and the 3 main characters in there, or 4 characters, are 3 of them are other grandkids and a nephew. So I named people in my story after people I know, which makes it even more fun to do.
Yeah.
But inspiration came from my relationship with Caleb, us talking about our relationship in depth and what it means to each of us, and putting together a story that has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and an ending that has to be satisfying to the reader. Okay, because there is something in there that happens that people said it brought me to crying, the tears, which if it brings out the emotion, then you got the reader hooked.
You did it right. You did it right. And, I wanted to turn to, there's a lot of pages that are great, but I felt like it's so relatable. Where is the page where he goes, I guess the sad part in the story, the climax of, it's just really relatable without giving it away, just seeing this particular page. So every story that came in, even though I was not able to judge, I still read them all, and I read them with my 2 boys, and we just, like, that page, we were like, oh, like, sad. And it made me think of, like, my reflecting on my childhood and like my adventures and things that I had with my grandparents, and how it was just so lovely. And it just took me back there, all of the adventures we had, and especially in particular with Clara, because she's my grandmother, who the award is named after.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just, that had like even more like a deeper connection for me with the story.
Oh, wow.
How eventually you do grow up. They do grow up, and it's not distant, but it's just different. And I feel like you definitely tapped in on all of those points and emotions that we feel as human beings, and as a grandchild with the grandparents. But you always come back together, so that's the main point. Yeah.
Well, part of it too is, of my grandparents, my mom's mother passed away before she even got married, so she didn't know that she'd have grandkids, and we never knew her. My dad's dad never met. I met my grandmother on my dad's side, and I met my mother on my mom's side, but they were in Europe, and we were growing up here in the United States, so never be able to have a relationship like that, which makes my relationship with my grandkids, my grandkids, even more meaningful. And so I also tell people, when they have become a grandparent, make sure you spend all the time you can with them, because they grow up faster than the kids do. and they're telling me, yeah, you're right. And so I think that adds to my feeling about this particular story.
Yes, you're right. They do grow up fast, because I can't even believe it. My youngest is now 4.5. I felt like he was just born yesterday.
Yeah. So, Oh yeah. I mean, I tell my grandkiddos, I want my little people back.
Oh, yes.
And they all, well, those little people are gone and not coming back, but we're here. I go, I understand that part.
Yes.
But they don't understand. I remember the times I had when they were little, and it was very important to me when we'd have birthdays and Christmases and other family events happening, and having them here at my house. It means the world to me, those memories. And I want to relive them. And I know I know that can't happen unless Doc Brown. Well, yeah. Well, unless Doc Brown shows up in his DeLorean and can take me back. I'm sorry, I don't think sense of humor.
No, I love it. And it goes with pop culture too, I love it. So what is next for you? You said that you are, you have some books coming out. Let us know what's next.
The next one that's coming up is a fractured fairy tale. It is called, currently it's called Digger, the Ant Colony Prince. And we may change the title to have that for storytelling purposes. And it's about an ant who has an evil stepmother and 2 evil stepbrothers, and they live in an ant colony. And then there's the queen who wants to abdicate in favor of her daughter, Princess Antilles, and wants to find a husband for her daughter. So she has a gala, and so you can tell what the story is.
Yes,
It's
yes,
a
yes,
Cinderella
yes.
story.
Absolutely,
And,
absolutely. Ant farm.
and then there's a fairy godbug that takes care of it. I really like the story. The illustrations are going to just blow you away when you see it, because Nana's really gone way above and beyond what I ever imagined she would be able to do. And so I'm glad I'm having her as the illustrator again. But it's a fun story. And I think because I'm a teacher, a lot of times teachers use different versions of a fairy tale, whether it is from another country, whether it's a fractured fairy tale like mine. So students can do comparing and contrasting on stories. What's the commonality of the stories, and really get into some good discussions with the kids. And the little kids love those kinds of stories anyway.
Yes.
So that was a fun story I wrote a while back, and I thought, maybe this will be the next one. And of course, I have my granddaughter, Mackenzie, who's Caleb's younger sister. She wants her story to be like an adventure with Granddad.
Okay.
So, but I'm going to do it a little different, I think, with her, because I also have a new little puppy, and he just gravitated to her, and his name is Cooper. He's almost 6 months old. About some adventures they have together at Granddad's house. So I'm still in the process.
Still processing it. Yes. Yeah. Sounds like a really great story.
You know what? I want the stories to be fun, and if I enjoy writing them, and I get input from a lot of folks, teacher friends, in particular, students, I'll run stories past and say, what do you think? And sometimes, I like that, but wouldn't it be better if, and they're like, oh my gosh.
Right.
They can come up with some really wonderful ideas. So I enjoy sharing and getting ideas, and then they say, well, can I be in the story? Can I be in your book? Can I? We will see. You never know.
Yes, you never know what'll pop up.
I have that. So I have that one. I have that one, and there's a third one that that is a really funny story, and it's called "I Want an Elephant."
Oh.
It's about a boy who wants an elephant, and then goes to a different animal, comes back about an elephant, why he wants, and there's a lot of information he gets by saying he wants an elephant.
Yeah.
And then finally he says, well, what kind of pet can I have? And the mom says, how about a dog? Not a big one, not a medium, not a small, large one, but a medium-sized dog. And the little boy, and I got this from a student. The little boy goes, okay, as long as it's a gray one. Why gray?
Right.
And the kid says, so I can dress him up like an elephant.
Oh, that's perfect.
It was a perfect ending, and it came from a student, but he has a dog, and they like putting clothes on, and it just, so you never know where you get your ideas.
You never know the inspiration. They come and flow, and your gifts just puts it out there.
Well, awesome. I have a lot of ideas now, so it'll keep me busy for a few more years, I think.
Yes, and we're looking forward to all of your work that you're putting out in the future. So where can people purchase this award-winning book?
Usually it's all online. You can get it through the publisher at Atlantic Publishing Group. You can also get it. Amazon carries it. If you go to Barnes & Noble online, you can order it there. Most of the online book sellers, they are carrying it or can get or have access to it. And if you live in California near Ontario, you can always call me and get a copy for me.
Awesome. Yes.
But mostly Amazon. And I go on Amazon, I see a couple of my books there, and like, wow, that's me.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes it's even hard to believe that I'm able to get books published. Nowadays, it's easier self-publishing, and but I go through a publisher
Yeah.
because they still go through the same editing and discussion of ideas and helping find the illustrators and all of that. Then there are people who do it all on their own, and I don't have those skills. So I rely on the people that I work with at Atlantic, um, and they've been wonderful to work with and guiding me. And with Caleb's Adventures, the editor that I had, fantastic in capturing what the illustrations might look like and all of that. And then when we get the illustrations back, we talked about them. Or this doesn't look quite right. It should be on the other side on the double page spread. Or in one scene, they wanted him in orange overalls, and I'm like,
No.
no, not even.
Yeah.
First of all, the granddad looks like me, so this granddad would never wear those overalls.
So this granddad's not going to be wearing those overalls. Yeah.
No. But and it was fun also with this one was to send pictures of what we look like. And if you look at the end about the author, there's a picture of Caleb as a little boy.
Yeah.
He wanted, and that one I think captured him at that age. And then the other one is when we were on a cruise.
Yes, I was like, they're on a cruise here. I can tell. Yeah, I loved it though. I love it. Okay, Christian. So, how can people stay in contact with you?
Okay, well, I am on social media. I have a Facebook, both personal and one for the books. So if you just type in Christian King and see this face, then you know you're in the right place. I also on Instagram. I have the one. They're both obviously linked to Facebook, Christian King, and there's another one called the Chris Connection. And that's the one I usually use on Instagram for my book work and my professional piece. So those are ways that they can contact me. I also have a website, and it is www.thechrisconnection.com. And you can find out more about me, see some more details about the stories, and also some of my artwork, because I am also an artist. And there's a place where you can contact me there as well. But probably through the social media pieces are probably the best way to do it.
Awesome. Well, Christian, it's been an absolute pleasure getting to know you. Thank you for taking the time. Again, I'm Kadeja Wexler, the owner of Auggie Bear Publishing. And make sure you check out Christian's award-winning Best Picture book at Caleb's Adventures with Granddad.
Thank you very much for this opportunity, and it was a delightful time with you as well. And I do plan on submitting books in the future, and I'm honored to be the recipient for Best Picture book.
Yes.
So thank you again. Thank you.